Shalom, this is Mitch Glazer, President of Chosen People Ministries. Thanks for taking a moment to watch the video. We're going to be talking about a very important topic, Messianic congregations. We actually find Messianic congregations in the book of Acts, chapter 2. Let me read a few verses for you. Everyone kept feeling a sense of awe, and many wonders and signs were taking place through the apostles. And all those who had believed were together and had all things in common, and they began selling their property and possessions and were sharing them with all as anyone might have need. Day by day, continuing with one mind in the temple and breaking bread from house to house, they were taking their meals together with gladness and sincerity of heart, praising God and having favor with all the people. And then listen to the conclusion. And the Lord was adding to their number day by day those who were being saved. And the folks who were being saved at that time, after Peter's message, were Jewish people, almost exclusively. There may have been a few Gentiles before Cornelius, but these were probably Messianic Jews. And the Messianic Jews were coming to know the Lord, gathering together, worshiping together, eating together, enjoying one another's fellowship. And this, in my opinion, is probably one of the first Messianic congregations in the Bible, and certainly in the world. And so we are going to talk about Messianic congregations. We're going to try and define them for you and help you understand what's done at Messianic congregations. And I have a wonderful group of experts with me. They're on staff with Chosen People Ministries, and I'm going to introduce them from left all the way around the table. So, Roy?
I'm Roy Schwartz, and I'm in Chicago, serving in planting congregations. I'm working on actually my fourth congregation, turning it over.
What's the name of it?
The MC Squared is what we call it.
What a very cool name.
I think so. And,
Love it.
And it stands for the Messianic Congregation of Chicago.
So that is not a Hebrew name.
No, it is not.
Okay, but a very cool name. Steve?
My name is Steve Finchel, and I'm the leader of a congregation here in New York City called Sha'ar Adonai, which means the gate of the Lord.
Wonderful.
And we named it that because New York has always been the gateway city for our people. And we believe that the gate of the Lord is open to our people still.
Fantastic.
So that's what we call it. We're on the Upper West Side of Manhattan.
And Rich?
My name is Rich Flashman. I'm the lead church planter, or Messianic congregation planter, for Beth Sar Shalom Brooklyn, which is just 2 years old. And I work with a couple of other men in establishing the congregation, and we're here, right here in Brooklyn. Right here, in fact, right here in this facility.
Wonderful. Thank you. Claudia?
My name is Claudia Железny, and I'm helping to establish the Messianic congregation here. It's the center. The name of the congregation is Gesher HaShamayim, which means the bridge in the heaven, which we believe that Jesus Yeshua is the bridge.
Thank you. Mike?
I'm Michael Hertz, and I planted and led B'nai Avraham Messianic Fellowship in Hampton, Virginia for over 10 years. Recently I came to New York City, and I oversee 4 congregations in New York City. One would be in Manhattan, and 2 in Brooklyn. One's English-speaking, one Russian-speaking, and we also have a newer congregation with Bukharian Jews in Queens.
Okay, great. Thank you. So obviously, Chosen People Ministries is pretty committed to planting and leading Messianic congregations. In fact, did you guys know that we have over 40 congregations that we're affiliated with, and they're everywhere from Israel to Argentina to England to Russia to the Ukraine and all sorts of other countries. I can't remember them all, and all across the U.S. And so this is important to us. Rich, you said something interesting in introducing the congregation that you've been laboring to plant here in Brooklyn. And you first said church, and then you switched and you said Messianic congregation. So in your mind, it seems to me that if I asked you to define a Messianic congregation, you would start with it maybe being a church or an evangelical church. So how do you view a Messianic congregation?
Well, Messianic congregations are part of the church. They are an expression. They're a Jewish believer expression of the body of Messiah. We call it body. We use different. The reason I corrected myself is we use different language here.
Why is that?
We're in a Jewish context. We want to speak the language of the community that we are in, and so we understand that the nomenclature is important and how we express ourselves. So we don't say Jesus, we say Yeshua. We don't say church, we say congregation. We don't say Christ, we say Messiah. And in that way, we communicate more effectively in the community that we find
So
ourselves
those are certain buzzwords that have a negative tone to them within the Jewish community.
Correct.
Right. So we're trying to accommodate that.
I just want to say something about some words are negative, we feel, they have a negative connotation. But when we use the name Yeshua, or when we say congregation, or certain things that we speak of describing ourselves, to me it's the very opposite of negative, because it brings to mind something very positive that I feel that we're doing. And I think that that's important for people to understand, that our movement and what the Lord is doing with us is a very positive movement. Now, as far as our congregation...
So we're not a reaction.
We're not a reaction
Right.
at all.
We are a Jewish expression of the body of Messiah or the body of Christ. Right?
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
And part of the church,
Right.
as Rich said.